About a year ago, I started taking the same city bus to work every morning. Nothing unusual ever happened. The same driver, the same people, the same route, until one Monday, I noticed a woman standing at the far end of the bus stop. She wasn't waiting in line. She wasn't looking at her phone. She was just standing there, looking in my direction. I didn't think much of it. People stare sometimes. But for the next 5 mornings, she was there again, always in the same place, always looking at me. Then, on the 6th morning, she smiled, walked over, and quietly said, "You should go home." This happened last fall, shortly after I moved to Seattle. I'd accepted a new job with a small software company downtown. It wasn't exciting work. Mostly answering emails, fixing small problems, and sitting in meetings that could have been messages. Still, the pay was better than my previous job, so I took it. The apartment I rented was about 45 minutes from the office by bus. At first, I hated the commute, waking up early, standing outside in the cold, watching every minute on my phone. But after a couple of weeks, it became routine. Every weekday looked almost identical. I'd leave my apartment at 7, stop at the same convenience store for coffee, walk another minute to the bus stop. The bus usually arrived at 7:18, sometimes a minute early, sometimes a minute late. The people waiting there were almost always the same. An older man reading the newspaper, a college student wearing headphones, a woman in business clothes who never looked up from her phone. Nobody talked much. Everyone just wanted to get to work. I was the same. I'd drink my coffee, scroll through the news, get on the bus, repeat it all the next morning. Nothing about that routine ever felt strange. Until one Monday. I remember it because it had rained all night. The sidewalks were still wet. The sky was completely gray. I reached the bus stop a little earlier than usual. Only 2 other people were there. As I stood under the shelter, I noticed someone farther down the sidewalk. A woman. She wasn't standing with everyone else. She was several yards away near an empty bench. She looked like she was in her early 30s. Brown hair tied back, a light gray sweater, dark jeans, white shoes. Nothing unusual about her. If I'd passed her in a grocery store, I probably wouldn't have remembered her 5 minutes later. She wasn't doing anything strange. She wasn't even looking at the road to see if the bus was coming. She was simply standing there, looking in my direction, not directly into my eyes, just in my direction. I looked away after a second. I didn't think much of it. The bus arrived. Everyone got on. As I found a seat near the middle, I happened to glance out the window. She was still standing there. She hadn't boarded the bus. I assumed she was waiting for another route. The next morning, she was there again. Same place, same clothes, same quiet expression. Yet, she didn't get on the bus. By Wednesday, I expected to see her, and I did. Thursday, the same. Friday, still there. At some point, I started wondering if she was actually waiting for anyone, or if she was simply standing there every morning. It wasn't exactly frightening, just unusual. I even caught myself looking toward that empty bench before I looked at the road for the bus, almost as if I'd started expecting her to be there. She always was. One morning, the older man with the newspaper stood closer to her than usual. When the bus arrived, he got on. She didn't. That was the first moment I realized she never boarded any bus. Not once. I don't know why that stayed with me. It just did. Saturday and Sunday passed. I didn't think about her. Monday morning, everything looked the same. Gray sky, coffee in my hand, cold air, the older man, the student with headphones, and the woman, standing near the empty bench. This time, as I looked toward her, she smiled. It wasn't a strange smile. It wasn't forced. It looked completely normal, friendly even. Without thinking, I gave a small nod. She nodded back. That was it. No conversation, no wave, nothing else. I remember telling myself that maybe she'd simply recognized me after seeing me every morning. It made perfect sense. Until Tuesday. Because Tuesday was the first time she started walking toward me. Tuesday morning, I almost expected her to walk over. Instead, she stayed where she always stood, near the empty bench, looking in my direction. For a moment, I wondered if I'd imagined her moving the day before. The bus arrived. Everyone got on. She didn't. That evening, I couldn't explain why I was still thinking about her. She hadn't done anything. She hadn't said anything. She was simply there. Wednesday morning, I left my apartment a little earlier. Not because I was running late, because I wanted to know if she arrived before everyone else. When I reached the bus stop, she was already there. Same place, same gray sweater, as if she'd been waiting for a long time. I looked around. Nobody seemed to notice her. The older man unfolded his newspaper. The student adjusted his headphones. A woman sipped her coffee. Nobody even looked in her direction. That felt. I started wondering if I was paying too much attention to someone everyone else considered completely normal. The thought actually made me laugh. Maybe I was just bored. Thursday morning, rain started falling just before I reached the bus stop. Everyone moved closer beneath the shelter. Everyone, except her. She stayed out in the rain, completely still. She didn't seem bothered by it. Her clothes should have been soaked within minutes. But from where I stood, they didn't look wet at all. I blinked. Maybe it was just the distance. Maybe I couldn't tell. The bus arrived. She stayed where she was. Again. By Friday, she had become part of my routine. Coffee, bus stop, woman, bus, or I realized something else. Every morning, she looked at me first. Only me. Never anyone else. Not once. I tried convincing myself it was coincidence, but after an entire week, it didn't feel like one anymore. The following Monday, everything changed. The bus was running late. 5 minutes, then 10. People started checking their phones. Some complained quietly. The street felt unusually silent. Without the sound of the arriving bus, the morning somehow felt different. That's when she started walking. Not quickly, just slow, steady steps. Toward me. She stopped an arm's length away. She looked exactly the same as always. Calm expression, gentle smile, kind eyes. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she quietly asked, "Do you work downtown?" I nodded. Yeah. She looked down the empty road, then back at me. "You should go home." I frowned. What? Her smile didn't disappear. "You shouldn't get on the bus today." I waited for her to explain. She didn't. Why? She simply shook her head. "I can't explain. But you need to go home." Before I could ask another question, the sound of the bus echoed around the corner. She stepped backward, making room for everyone boarding. The doors opened. People climbed inside like every other morning. I looked back at her. She was still smiling. Not happily, almost sadly. The driver called out, "You getting on?" I looked at the woman one last time. She gave the smallest shake of her head, as if she already knew. I wasn't going to listen. I stepped onto the bus. As the doors closed, I watched her through the window. She never looked away. She simply stood there, watching the bus leave. The bus ride felt normal, at least for the first few minutes. People were looking at their phones. Someone near the front was quietly talking on a headset. The driver stopped at the usual intersections. Everything looked exactly the way it always did. I actually started smiling to myself. Maybe the woman was just different. Maybe she'd mistaken me for someone else. Or maybe she simply wasn't well. By the time we reached downtown, I'd almost forgotten the conversation. I walked into my office building, took the elevator to the 8th floor, made myself a cup of coffee, opened my laptop. Just another workday. Around 10 o'clock, someone from accounting walked over to my desk. "Did you hear?" I looked up. "Hear what?" "There was a bad accident this morning." I shrugged. "Where?" She mentioned the exact intersection, the one my bus normally crossed every morning. "The road's completely closed," she said. I heard a city bus was involved. For a second, I didn't understand. Then I looked at the clock. The timing matched perfectly. The same bus, the same route, the same one I'd taken. I opened my phone. Every local news page was reporting the same thing. A collision. Several people injured. The bus service suspended for the rest of the day. I stared at the screen for a long time. The woman had known, or somehow expected it. That thought stayed with me all day. The next morning, I wasn't sure what to expect. Part of me hoped she wouldn't be there. When I reached the bus stop, she was standing near the bench, exactly where she'd always been. I walked straight toward her. She smiled before I even spoke. "You knew." She didn't answer. "How did you know?" She looked at me quietly. Then she said, "I didn't." I frowned. "You told me not to get on that bus." She nodded. "I told you to go home." "Why?" She looked toward the road for a few seconds. "I just felt you shouldn't be here." The answer didn't make any sense. I waited for more. Nothing came. The bus appeared in the distance. She took one slow step backward, just like the day before. I had dozens of questions. Instead, I asked the only one that mattered. "Who are you?" For the first time, her smile disappeared. Very softly, she said, "I used to wait here too." Before I could ask what she meant, the bus pulled in front of us. People stepped around me to get on. The driver looked at me. "You coming?" I looked back toward the woman. She wasn't there. I searched the sidewalk, the bench, the street corner. Nothing. She was gone. For the next few weeks, I looked for her every morning. She never came back. Eventually, life returned to normal. The buses ran on schedule again. The same commuters waited every morning. The older man, the student, the woman in business clothes. Everything felt familiar again. A month later, I stopped at the convenience store before work. The cashier recognized me. As he handed me my coffee, he casually asked, "You waiting for the woman again?" I looked at him. "What woman?" "The one who always stood by the bench with you." For a second, I almost smiled. "I haven't seen her in weeks." The cashier looked confused. "Weird. I haven't seen anyone standing by that bench for years." I laughed. "I saw her every morning." He slowly shook his head. No. He pointed through the front window toward the bus stop. That bench has been blocked off since I started working here. I looked outside. The bench was still there. Faded, wrapped in yellow caution tape, half hidden behind a row of bushes. From where I was standing, there was no place anyone could have stood beside it. I never told the cashier what I'd seen. I just took my coffee, walked outside, and waited for the bus. Sometimes, without even realizing it, I still find myself looking toward that bench, just to make sure no one's standing there.